Hey, what's good, BBQ Family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q, and today I got a little something special for you with a holiday treat for the sweet tooth that you might have. We're gonna be doing a smoked apple pie out there on the old pellet grill. Simple ingredients. Let's get right into it. And cut the music. This is where today's video will begin as we get together the Sunday night dessert. We got about 7 Granny Smith apples here. We're gonna be making this old apple pie, doing this real American style. Basically, the only thing that we're gonna be doing is peeling these babies, getting all the skin off, and then I'll be using my core, which will then allow me just to basically go straight down, make life easy, drop this into quarters. You can leave these in full long pieces if you want. I think I'm gonna take those long pieces and chop them in half just to kind of give them a little bit more smaller pieces in my pie. And other than that, I got a cup of sugar here and a teaspoon of cinnamon that we're gonna sprinkle over these these pieces of sugar. Once we get everything done, we'll toss it in a bowl, let it hang out in the refrigerator for about an hour to get happy. So let me go grab my peeler. We're gonna go ahead and get these apples knocked out. All right, got the general skin off. Now we're gonna come on over here to the core, and then let's go ahead and get these things broke down. And that's what it looks like as it works through that core. Pretty much it necks out that middle. I mean, for the most part, it take care of most of the work. There we go. Went ahead and chopped them up into halves after we went ahead and kind of quartered that thing out. Obviously, I left a little bit of skin. If you're ready to get rid of all of that, you could. If you want to leave all your skin, you could as well. We're going to be rocking it just like you see it. Time to sprinkle in some of this sugar. We're going to mix that all around along with that 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Just like that, and then we're going to grab that wooden spoon, move these around a little bit. I'm going to throw the top on. These are going back in the refrigerator for nearly an hour. I'll probably bring you back in about 45 minutes, but let's mix these up. And you should look like this once you get everything mixed up. And basically, this is going to be our pie filling. Let's let this hang out. It's going to create a little bit more syrup and everything, and it'll all come together. Okay, so it's been roughly about an hour. We're going to get together the topping. The apples still hanging out in the refrigerator. We're going to get together a bowl. First thing I need is about 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay. And then I need a cup and a half of sugar. Okay. And then I want another half a cup of brown sugar. Add that in. Next, I'm going with 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We go with that. I'm going to add in a pinch of salt. Just like that. And then I'm going to mix this mixture together a little bit just to let it come together. And then in a separate little bowl, I need 2 eggs that I'm about to mix together before mixing it into this. And before we go ahead and beat those eggs, let me get my pellet grill turned on. I want to make sure that baby's still looking good out here. Late night, so late night sweets. I want to make sure that once we get this thing going, I'm able to pretty much get everything put together and go right into the actual Green Mountain. I need to get this baby up to 350, so let me get this thing started up. Meet you back inside. Okay, now back in the house, we're going to take these 2 eggs and we're going to go ahead and lightly beat them before adding them to that mixture that I've already kind of gave a little pre-mix to. There we go. Now we're going to use our handy dandy whisk. Whisk this thing all together until we get lots of nice little crumbles of balls and everything's mixed together. And we should end up like that. And then mental note to self, do not use the whisk way too much, get caught up in the middle. Good old fashioned fork works great for this, and we're trying to keep it lumpy, break up all a little bit of balls you might have of flour or brown sugar or anything like that. Make sure everything gets nice and mixtured together, but you're going to have some knots end up like that. Next, you're going to have whatever kind of pan you want to use. I'm using a cast iron skillet, which I think will work best, whether you're using something like this or a Dutch oven. Really wish I had the one size bigger. The one that I have other than this is huge, so this might be a little small for it, but worst comes to worst, I'll pull off some of the actual middle and some of the apples to make it a little bit lower, but I think this should work out fine. And then lastly, I got a stick of butter. I use salted in this one. Let's throw this in the microwave real quick. I want this to be all melted down. Butter is melted. I got the apples out the refrigerator. You can see that they've made their own little mixture that has kind of got together now. We're going to be using all of that. Got my grease pan. We're going to take these apples. I'm going to give them a good mix. And then we're going to get those right into the pan. And like we said, we want all of that juice and mixture in there. I think this will actually be okay. This won't be too many apples. And now flatten those out. Okay, so we be looking just like that. Like I said, make sure you get all of that juice, get all of that sugar out the bottom of that bowl. I'm gonna be adding in a little bit of my secret weapon, and I'm gonna go ahead and just top it with this cinnamon swirl I got here from Bearded Butchers, but this is an optional step. There we go. Just give it a little fresh on there, a little bit more of the same, a little cinnamon, a little sugar, whole lot of flavor. That mix also I think has a little bit of nutmeg, allspice, those type of flavors in there. Next, we're going to be coming right over the top with that crumble, and we're going to fill this whole thing up in every crevice that we can. And just kind of slowly mix up that mixture again and keep adding it. Hey team, I just want to jump in here real quick and let you know I appreciate you following along on today's video. And if you're new to the channel, go to the bottom right corner, make sure you subscribe, check out other videos if you've missed. And then with that said, find me on Facebook, IG, and TikTok. Let's get back to it. Alright, got that crumble on there. Looking nice and pretty. Optional step yet again as we try to level this up. I'm going to be using a little bit of my local Timo's spice. This is a bourbon brown sugar. I'm going to lightly kind of just dust the top of this before we add in the rest of this melted butter all over. As you can see, I'm not adding much of this, just kind of giving it a little topping, a little dusting. Just give me a little extra color, a little top end flavor to add to that crust. That looks good. Okay. It tastes great and smells great. Now we're going to be drizzling this butter, and I need both my hands for this one, all over. And that's how it's going to look before we get it into the smoker. That's going to hang out for a second. We're going to wait until we get up to 350, and let's get outside. All right, we outside, as you can see, late night, we smoking good, 350, got a beautiful blend of pellets in there. I believe it's some oak, some cherry, some maple, nice and cleaned up. We're gonna sit this thing off here to the side, and I'm gonna let it hang out. I'll bring you back in about a half hour, but roughly I'm expecting this to take about an hour. Night, baby. See you in a little bit. Let's peek, a little over a half hour, almost like 40 minutes. Oh, this thing, I'll tell you, you can smell the cinnamon out here. Basically, this is gonna be done when this top is nice and brown. What I'm gonna do is give it a 360 rotation, and then we're gonna leave it right here, and I'll bring you back in another 20 minutes or so, we'll see. Okay, been about an hour. I see some smooth smoke coming up out of here. Still rolling in at 350. Let's see. Oh, we bubbling over the top. Man, it smells great out here. You can definitely smell the cinnamon and all that good stuff. Again, I'm just trying to get brown. I don't mind where I'm at, but I do want just a tad bit more. Obviously, we bubbling over. Glad we got that down, so it'll be an easy cleanup. I'm gonna give it another 5 minutes, and we're coming off. Coming in about 5 minutes later. Nice. You notice I gave it a rotation in the area that hasn't been. I'm gonna give it one more rotation, then give it one more side, and I think we're great. Hey, so it's been another 5 minutes, and it's about game time. All in all, look at that beautiful brown looking crust. That's what I was looking for, more or less, all over. Nice little bit of crispness, as you can kind of see. I know we bubbled some out, but that means everything in there, them apples should be nice and crisp. I'm at about an hour and 20 minutes. Grab this thing, bring it in. I'm gonna let it sit, let this crust harden a little bit. Oh yeah, and we're gonna be ready to get in here. All right, back in the house. Here is your view. Pie crust looking crumbly, beautiful, smelling nice and cinnamony. That's the word. I'm gonna go ahead and let this hang out and cool down for a bit, and we'll be in. This is sat long enough. We are hungry. It is smelling good. Wifey is ready. Let's go ahead and spoon this out a little bit of this. Obviously, it's still warm. I can feel a little bit of the heat right over the top. Got me a little bit of ice cream. I like these little individual packs only because it takes up a little less room in the freezer. And also it keep you honest instead of me doing it by freehand. So I'm just going to start with a little pat of this down here in the bottom of this bowl. And we're going to spoon this out a nice spoonful of this pie. And we'll put it right on top. Now, I'll tell you what, make sure you also get a good ice cream, man. You know, splurge out one time. Get a little homemade. This is our Bluebell. That's what they have over here. Reminds me of the old homemade ice cream we would always get back in the day. Got that right in there. And now, we just gonna go right in. I mean, oh yeah. Got this nice metal spoon, so it allows me, you can see I got a nice little crust going on. Everything in here is nice and cooked. Look at that. Look at that. Let me get two hands in here. Ah, come on up out of here. Whew. As I drop a little bit more. Look at that. And that's a natural pie filling. Nothing but fresh. Right there. Ooh, pardon my view. Nothing but fresh Granny Smith apples right here, cinnamon and sugar. Good old fashioned. And then a topper. You don't got all those preservatives and all that other random stuff. Just a nice little something. Easy to make. Slamming. You should smell the smells coming up out of here. Let me quickly grab my spoon before we melt all my ice cream. Okay. Let's dig in there. Get a nice amount with some of that ice cream. That is amazing. You can actually taste that smoke in there. That crust is just crunchy enough to make a crust. Still soft. Nice bit of flavor in there. And I'm still chewing on bits and crumbles of this crust, which is amazing. And them apples are so small, soft, they just squishing right through. I got to get this phone up out my hand. As you can see, all of my ice cream is melting. But this treat right here is A1. Shouts out to the family. My boys over there at Black Smoke Barbecue. And definitely you out here in TV land. I appreciate all y'all. Until next week. Peace.